What's up, everybody? It's Conger Live. We're back again with another TMNT Mutant Madness video. In today's video, we're looking at the upcoming power mutation for PvP. We're also going to take a look at the new hero economy event really quick. If you're new to the channel, did you kick that like button, subscribe for more content, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are in Channel 6 News on the official Discord. We have the Sewer Heroes Hero Economy event where you get a chance at unlocking a 5-star version of Splinter. Master Splinter event starts on April 27th and ends on May 11th. That's 11 a.m. Pacific time. Of course, with all of these, you have to be past Adventure 13.1 to participate. You guys know how these work. Good luck if you're going for a 5-star Splinter. He's a great hero. I don't have him at 5 stars, but at 4-star he works really, really well. I'm sure he would work even better at 5. Now let's take a look at the upcoming power mutation. We have 5 heroes. First up is Snow Mikey. Then we have Zack, Mondo Gecko, Casey Jones, and Rasputin. Interesting. So we got the boarders, the snowboarder, the hoverboarder, and the skateboarder. And then Casey Jones and Rasputin, not sure how they fit into the theme, but interesting set of 5 heroes. Let's go take a look at their kits. Okay, here we are in the box. The first one that was highlighted was Snow Mikey. Snow Mikey was one of the first hero bit events. In fact, I think he was the first hero bit event reward. He was a little underwhelming, but he's kind of balanced out a little bit over time. He's not horrible. Definitely under mutation, he seemed to work well last time. His Wildcat special gains defense, selects an empty tile at range 2 to 5, moves there, selects targets all enemies in between, inflicts negative defense, targets all enemies at range 1, inflicts negative defense, and deals physical damage, inflicts stun for 1 second to targets under 25 alertness, gains extra defense, and deals extra damage per haste. So he really likes to lean into having haste, and if you can strip alertness from your enemy, you're going to get a stun out of that move. Wish it was more than 1 second, but that's what it is. His whiteout spin, he gains defense and 100 barrier for 2 seconds. Targets all enemies within range 1, inflicts negative defense and negative 50 alertness for 6 seconds. Inflicts negative 25 extra alertness to targets above 25 alertness. So this whiteout spin is basically going to help guarantee his special will stun. That happens every 6 seconds, which is pretty nice. That 100 barrier for 2 seconds, every 6 seconds, it's really going to help him stay alive against people like Irma. Gnarly Tricks passive when attacking deals extra damage and gains defense if not rooted or slowed. After being attacked, gains 5 haste for 10 seconds if the attacker is under 0 alertness. So he's really going to be able to stack that haste, but only as long as the target that's attacking him is under 0 alertness, which his whiteout spin will help do. Other ways to reduce alertness will help give him haste, which is awesome because his haste will also help him do more damage in multiple ways. Other heroes giving him haste is probably also going to help, like Attila. Snowblind inflicts negative 30 strength and focus to all enemies under 10 alertness. A lot of alertness play here. Unlocks at 225, inflict negative extra strength and focus per negative alertness. So if you can get them negative alertness, you're going to take even more of their strength and focus away, which is going to reduce their damage. This is definitely like a trickster skill here. Pretty cool. The way to combat fighting against Snow Mikey would be using people with high alertness like Ace Duck maybe. And grab and slam target an enemy at range 1, deals physical damage, and deals extra damage, and inflicts stun for 3 seconds to targets under 25 armor. This happens every 9 seconds. If you take him all the way up to 250, he's going to gain 70 haste for 6 seconds with this skill. And that haste will definitely help his special do a lot more damage. And that haste will also get him some basic attacks going out. Pretty cool. Overall, middle of the road character. I think outside of mutation, not useful, but during mutation, he can definitely put in some work. If we put some equipment on him and check out his Snow Slicer, after using a skill, he gains 2 strength for 30 seconds and inflicts -2 alertness for 30 seconds to all enemies. So this is really cool. Being able to use his skills more often will, of course, help him to strip more alertness and give himself some more strength, which will help him do a little bit more damage. That is Snow Mikey. Okay, next up was Zack. Where is my Zack? There he is. Zack, another border. His Star Cruiser Flyby actually does a lot of damage, and he might be very, very useful in Mutation this week. Select an enemy, target them up to 2 other enemies at range 2, inflicts negative defense, and deals energy damage over 3 hits. Inflicts -15 barrier for 5 seconds to each target hit, deals extra damage per hit to stunned, rooted, or slowed targets. So the interesting thing about this is that it's over 3 hits. So the first hit takes away the barrier, and then the second 2 hits of that split end up doing more damage. It increases that damage, so it's pretty cool. I don't think that if he hits the same target more than once that the barrier gets stripped again. I think it's just one time. But then extra damage to stunned, rooted, and slowed targets. A lot of potential for some big damage, especially on Mutation from Zack. His Hoverboard Escape, he targets all enemies within range 1, inflicts slow for 3 seconds, inflicts root for 3 seconds to targets under 0 haste, and moves up to range 3 away from the enemies. Gains defense and 60 haste for 6 seconds if he's not rooted or slowed. So as long as you can avoid rooting and being rooted and slowed, he's going to be able to stay away, keeping his distance, and also kind of slowing down the enemies. That happens every 8 seconds, pretty nice. His passive Neutrino Laser Tech, when attacking, he deals extra damage if he's at or above 30 haste, and extra damage to targets that are stunned, rooted, or slowed. After attacking, gain 3 focus for 60 seconds. If there are no enemies at range 1, gain 3 extra focus if there are no enemies at range 2. So it's going to really boost his damage output, this passive. If you can give him haste another way as well, that's going to really help juice him up, give him the ability to do a lot more damage. His extra dimensional moves after using the skill gain defense and 15 haste for 6 seconds if not rooted or slowed. Gains extra defense and 15 extra haste if there are no enemies at range 1. Awesome. After using a skill at 225, gains 15 barrier for 6 seconds if not rooted or slowed, and gains extra barrier if there are no enemies at range 1. So by keeping his distance, he gets the extra haste, he gets the extra barrier, so he's going to be able to do more damage, stay alive a little bit longer with this. You want to be able to give him that haste always, but also if you can give him some will so he can use his skills more often, that will help out. So someone like April sitting next to Zack would potentially help that out. His final auto skill Trick Shots target up to 3 enemies at range 3, inflicts negative defense to each, and then deals energy damage to each. And he does extra energy damage per haste if you get him up to 250, being that he likes to collect haste, and if you can give him some more haste, that will really help you do a lot more damage. Not 100% necessary, but always nice to do more, right? 250 is a huge investment, though, on a character you're not going to use all the time. Hoverboard. Gains 60 haste and 12 alertness if not stunned, rooted, or slowed. Awesome. So as long as he's not being stunned, rooted, or slowed, he's going to have that haste bonus and that alertness bonus. That alertness bonus will kind of help against Snow Mikey, but it's not enough to stop Snow Mikey from doing his tricks. So keep that in mind, but definitely be able to do quite a bit of damage there. The skateboarder Mondo Gecko, one of the coolest characters in the Ninja Turtle universe. Where is he? He was right next to Zack. I think he's got a lot of potential, especially on Mutation. His rocket board gains 200 haste for 3 seconds, selects a tile between range 2 and 5 that is at range 1 of an enemy, moves there, it deals energy damage to the enemies in between, inflicts damage over 4 seconds to stunned, rooted, or slow targets, and targets an enemy at range 1, dealing physical damage. This is really nice. He does a few different types of damage. He does damage over time, he does energy damage, he does physical damage. So depending on what they got going on, he's making sure he's getting some damage in there no matter what. And that 200 haste, he's just going to be able to go crazy and set himself up to do this again and again. His tailspin gains defense 50% resistance to stun for 4 seconds, which is nice. Coin toss there to prevent stun from happening. Target all enemies within range 1 and deals physical damage over 2 hits. So this happens every 6 seconds. So most of the match, Mondo should be able to resist stun at least half of the time. That's something. Skate skills. Passive gains 30 alertness if not stunned, rooted, or slowed. When attacking, deals extra damage if not stunned, rooted, or slowed. So this is going to help combat against the Snow Mikey skills. Although Snow Mikey will also take more alertness away with one of his skills if he has that high alertness. But that definitely is going to help in the long run with that alertness. Also, alertness gives you more defense, so not bad there. But you got to avoid the stunned, roots, and the slows. And there's a lot of that stuff out there in order for this to really take effect. His tubular tricks after attacking gains defense if at or above 0 haste. He should be at or above 0 haste most of the time. And then at 225, he gains 3 strength for 60 seconds if at or above 0 haste. He should be at or above 0 haste most of the time, especially if you're partnering him with someone like Attila, who gives haste to everybody. Then he's constantly going to get stronger. In 60 seconds, let's be honest, like, does a match even last 60 seconds? So that 3 strength is going to basically be there the whole time, just making him stronger and stronger as the match continues. His skateboard smash auto skill targets an enemy at range 1, deals physical damage, inflicts stun for 1 second, and slow for 5 seconds. This happens every 8 seconds. If you take him all the way up to 250, he deals extra damage per haste, which could be big if he used his special. So there's a lot of potential damage output from Mondo. He also has a lot of mobility, and his skill here, his equipment skill, probably one of the best in the game. After using the skill, gains 45 armor, barrier strength, and haste for 2 seconds if not rooted or slowed. So as long as he's avoiding the roots and the slows, he's going to get a huge buff every time he uses a skill. Really, really nice. Really, really cool. Okay, so those are the borders of this. Now we have Casey Jones. Casey Jones has some damage output potential. Not one of my favorite damagers in the game. I used him a lot very early on, but I don't even think that he's worth using during Mutation anymore. We'll still go over his kit. He gains 60 armor for 2 seconds, selects an enemy at range 5, move to them. Deals physical damage over 2 hits, extra damage to targets under 10 armor, and inflicts slow for 5 seconds. So the slow that he afflicts here is going to help against Mondo, but I just don't know if he's going to do enough. Let's say we used all 3 borders. The other 2 I would use Attila and April most likely. But that would be me. You guys make your own decisions. Out of the park, target an enemy at range 1, inflict negative defense, negative 20 focus for 10 seconds, and deals physical damage. Happens every 7 seconds. Pretty simple. Stripping defense, doing damage. His Vigilante Fury, after attacking an enemy, if will is at or above 0, gain 3 strength for 60 seconds. So this is also really nice. He ramps. He needs his will to be above 0. You know, April's could give him some will. And like I said, with the last hero, 60 seconds, the match doesn't even last that long. So that's strength, just fully stacking the whole time. His Lawbreakers gains 20 armor and haste per enemy at range 1. Nice. Simple. Ngungala, his last auto skill, gains 50 strength and receives negative 70 alertness for 5 seconds. Target all enemies at range 1, inflict negative defense. Target all enemies at range 1, inflict negative 50 focus for 3 seconds if you take him to 250. This happens every 10 seconds, pretty slow. I don't like that he takes his own alertness away, especially since I think it was Snow Mikey likes them to not have alertness. So he's just asking to get beaten up by Snow Mikey this week. Yeah, not cool in my opinion. His Hockey Mask gains 30 armor and gains 60 strength if under 60% health. Also not the best equipment skill. He doesn't get his strength bonus until he's taken some damage, and by that point, like, even though it's 60%, it's not like lower than that. It's still like, it's too little too late, if you ask me. So that's Casey Jones. And then the last one was Rasputin, who we looked at for this week. A lot of people are probably using Rasputin. Rasputin's an amazing tune. He's maybe underappreciated, or people just don't realize how useful he is. He's Flash Arrow, selects a tile at range 4, targets all enemies within range 1 of it, inflicts negative defense, inflicts negative 100 haste. This is huge against these haste-loving borders for 4 seconds, and stun for 1.5 seconds. Right, so it takes away their haste and he stuns them. Big ol' AoE stun, great. Inflicts reduced haste and stun for 2 extra seconds if the target is at or over 10 alertness. Yeah, pretty cool stuff here. I think that Rasputin's definitely worth using this week. Goop arrow, target tile at range 4 and all enemies within range 1 of it. Inflict negative defense, inflict root, and negative 80 strength, and focus for 3 seconds. Inflict slow for 7 seconds. This happens every 5 seconds. He's basically making sure that someone is always slowed, which is going to be detrimental to Mondo, and because he won't be able to get some of his tricks off. Yeah, Rasputin's probably the strongest of these heroes this week. Trick arrows, when attacking at range 2+, deals extra damage, inflicts negative 10 armor for 10 seconds to targets above 40 armor. Do the same for haste, alertness, strength, and will. This is going to help level the playing field, minimize things, and this is on basic attacks. So just doing extra damage in general. He needs to stay distant though, so that's the caveat to his trick arrows. His punk ambush, at the start of combat, root the closest enemy for 3 seconds. That is awesome. Whenever an ally attacks, gain defense and 15 haste for 3 seconds if the target is stunned, rooted, or slowed. Whenever an ally attacks, whatever the target of that ally, if that target is stunned, rooted, or slowed, and there's a lot of that stuff happening with these tricks that these heroes have, he's gaining 15 haste, which is, and defense. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's really nice. Very tricky. Take him to 225 at the start of combat. He's going to gain 300 armor and barrier for 5 seconds. He's going to gain 10 alertness and will per enemy that is stunned, rooted, or slowed. So the 300 armor and barrier, that's at the start of combat. Alertness and will per enemy stunned, rooted, or slowed. That's consistent throughout the match. So very worth taking to 225 in my opinion. And his blast arrow, target a tile at range 4 and all enemies within range 1 of it. Deal energy damage. That happens every 9 seconds. And if you take him all the way up to 250, he does extra damage to stunned, rooted, or slowed enemies, which is definitely going to be happening a lot. He does a lot of that himself, either at the start of the battle or with his ultimate. And his trick bow, start of combat, gains 45 strength and focus and 90 haste for 5 seconds. So not the best equipment skill because it's only at the start of battle for the first 5 seconds, but it really does give you a huge start. He stuns the one character or roots the one character at the beginning. A lot of potential from Rasputin. I would say out of these 5 heroes, Rasputin, Snow Mikey, and Mondo would be the 3 I would consider using. I would use Attila and probably April. Maybe instead of Mondo Gecko, using Rock and Raph if you got him built up. But Rasputin is a definite hands down, and I would say Snow Mikey's probably a really good one to use as well this week. Let me know what you think about all these heroes and what heroes are best to use in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, sticking with me. Ninja kick that like button, subscribe for more content, and we'll see you in the next video.